Lady Mage presents Holder 61 through 65. The Holder of Madness. Holder number 61. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution, appropriately enough, or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the Holder of Madness. The worker will bow formally, with his hand tucked under his chest, and will motion you to follow into the waiting room. He will leave, and the lights will go out. When they return, about 13 seconds later, you will be in a dirty hallway with a cuneiform scratching on the walls. As you walk, I should say, apologies, the scratches will gradually change to resemble an alien writing. Attempting to decipher the writing will send you into writhing agony for the rest of your mortal days, so don't do it. As you reach a black orb, shimmering with liquidity, you must speak. We are all mad, for you are the bringer. If the orb comes to resemble a doorway, enter it. But if it rotates, you'll be dragged into the nether. Hope you packed a good suitcase for that one. In the following chamber, made of a twisting black coral, stands a figure, ever changing. In him, her, it, whatever, you will see all men, women, children, animals, creatures, beasts, and horrors that exist. It will not recognize your presence unless you extend your left hand and say, "I swear my oath to Koth, may the tower ever stand." At this time, it will cease its changing long enough to place his hand in yours, and your soul will be torn out of your body and placed within a numbered humanoid skull resting on a pile on his left. Touching the skull will bring you to the foyer of an ancient temple lying in the sands of Mesopotamia. Again, you did remember to pack your suitcase for this trip, right? The skull is object 61 of 538. It must converge once more. Object number 62, the Holder of Salvation. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask with no hesitation whatsoever to visit someone who calls themselves the Holder of Salvation. The clerk will give you a knowing smile and beckon you to follow. You will be led outside to an old and run-down well with quite a few of the stones missing, and the clerk will give you a key before returning to their post. If you should look down the well, you will find an old, rusted ladder. It descends into the seemingly endless depths. Should you choose to climb down, you will hear the wind as it blows past you. It may sound to you like a heavenly dirge, or the hellish wails of the damned. There's no way of knowing what you'll hear. Sounds like it varies from person to person, too, honestly. Should the wind stop at any time, freeze, even if it leaves you hanging by one hand, for it means that an unspeakably hellish creature has entered the shaft. If you stay perfectly still and are very lucky, you will feel the wind of its passing. However, should you hear its growl, it would be wise to let yourself fall and hope the bottom of the shaft reaches you before the creature does. After the beast has passed, wait about a good minute, before continuing your descent. You will soon lose sight of the opening of the shaft. Don't bother trying to light the place up either, for this darkness swallows all the light. After what seems like an eternity, you will reach the bottom of the shaft, and remember to touch the touch of light, as there is a single candle down there. As you look around, you will see you're in a small room. Appropriately enough, you just climb down a small well. Only wider than the well shaft you survived. Only slightly wider than the well shaft you just survived, I should say. And there will be a single wooden door, nondescript and aging, across from where you landed. Don't bother looking for the ladder. It's disappeared. Approach the door and knock thrice, 3 times, lightly. Should you hear nothing, pray for a swift death, for there is no escape for what awaits you now. However, if you hear a woman's voice say, "Come in, dear, I've been waiting for you," then open the door and slowly enter. You will find yourself in a room no bigger than a closet. A beautiful young woman sits across from you, on what appears to be an aged chest. Not that kind of chest, you perverts, a storage container. She will only answer one question. If they are brought together, what can save us? She will then proceed to describe, in horrifying detail, the only way to stop them once they are united. Many give up hope in this room, but you must not let this happen, for if you do, the woman will reveal her true form, and your death will be both long and painful beyond mortal comprehension. If you should survive, the woman will let loose an unearthly wail and disappear, leaving only the chest. The key you were given will open it. What lies in that chest is object 62 of 538. It's up to you whether it should join its kin. Oh, and as for the tale the woman tells, let this guard against despair. If what she says comes to pass, the 3 damaged will survive and start again. Now, appropriately enough, we move on to the holder of damnation. Holder number 63. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. Are you seeing a pattern here? When you reach the front desk, ask with no hesitation to visit someone who calls themselves the holder of damnation. The clerk will frightfully deny any knowledge of such a thing, but will eventually slip you a toothless key with a strange cross-like, kind of like a cousin to Prince's old symbol and thing engraved upon it, and point you down a certain hallway. At the end of this hallway is a perfectly nondescript door. Well, but for the doorknob. It is made of a stone that is blacker than the deadest night, and should you touch it, you will feel as if your very soul is being drained away. Upon entering the door, you'll be in a brightly lit hallway. The walls are lined with drawings, drawn like a child drew them, depicting the dreams of this kid. Do not look at these pictures, for their pleasant experience is merely a facade, hiding their true nature. Should you gaze upon them, they will surely be the last thing you will ever see, for your eyes will be the first to go. Think Zalgo, folks. The ceiling of the hallway drips blood. If you were to look up, and believe me, this isn't something you want to do, you will see the disemboweled corpses of hundreds, nay, thousands of children impaled on the ceiling with their own bones. Yeah, this is not Disneyland. Should you reach the end of the hallway, you will find a massive iron door. At eye level, there should be a small sliding plate. Take the key that was given to you earlier and hold the toothless part in your hand. You know, with the symbol uncovered, by the way, and pointing directly at the plate. Close your eyes and give one sharp knock to the plate. You will hear it slide back. Resist the temptation to look, for it will be the end of you otherwise. Wait about 10 seconds. Count them off carefully. If the key does not change, run. Run as fast as you can. Only stop when your legs can go no further. If you feel the key change, however, wait until you hear the plate slide back into place and open your eyes. In its place will be a massive padlock. Unlock it with your newly changed key and quickly enter the room, closing the door behind you. The holder of damnation despises light. You will be in a dark room with no light whatsoever, but you will hear labored breathing from the farthest corner. Do not move closer and do not speak. Only words that will not result in your death will be, "Who was the first to bring them together?" Should you ask, you will hear a voice, neither male nor female, speaking in your mind. Soon it will give up on speech, and the images it creates in your mind instead will be horrifying. Don't scream, whatever you do, for it will see this as a sign of weakness and end your existence in such a way that only the criminally insane could understand. If you weather this tale, you will notice that specks of light have appeared throughout the room. A hiss will fill the room and rise to a horrific scream. The most horrific scream you'll ever hear, by the way, as each point of light explodes, lighting up the room. When the light dims, you will see the charred remains of the holder in the corner. Don't move in for a closer look. Dead snakes can still bite. At your feet will be a small velvet bag. It contains a flawless crystal star. That star is object 63 of 538. If it is allowed to shine, its light will drive all that see it mad. Holder number 64, the holder of nature. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. And when you reach the front desk, cover your ears and ask the worker to see someone who calls themselves the holder of nature. If you don't cover your ears, pray to any and every god you will know for relief of what comes next. The worker will stand and begin yelling in an unknown language, in a voice filled with more evil than Satan or any of the demons in his legion. To hear this voice clearly would corrupt your mind instantly, leaving you to suffer a pain far greater than the fires of hell for the rest of your life. Even with your ears covered, your head will feel as if it were in flames whilst the worker speaks his evil tongues. When he's finished, wait 10 seconds before uncovering your ears, for the evil still lingers in the air. After 10 seconds, uncover your ears and put your hand on your forehead, saying, "In the beginning." As you finish saying this, the worker will open his mouth and a portal will appear. Don't ask. Should you step through this portal fearfully, he will close it when you're only halfway through, trapping your soul in a dark abyss that connects the dimensions for all eternity. But if you make it through safely, you will find yourself in a garden more lush and beautiful than any forest or jungle known to man, demon, or angel. The garden seems to stretch into infinity, and in front of you will see a path. Follow it, but do not stray. For if you do, the beasts of the garden will attack and will slowly tear the layers off your body over what seems an eternity, and you'll be conscious for all of it. After what would seem like anywhere from 5 minutes to 5 months of walking, you will find a quaint little home. Knock on the front door, and if you should hear a voice saying, "You are not welcome here, stranger," there is no hope for you. No praying will save you here. Your death will be horrible. But if the voice says, "Please come in," you may open the door and go in. He has welcomed you after all. Inside you will see an old man in a rocking chair, reading by the fire. He will only respond to one question. What started it all? The man will begin to change his shape right in front of you. The wrinkles on his face and arms will begin to fade. His muscles begin to take shape as if he were getting younger. He will stand and ask you to come to him. Don't! As much as this may tempt you, do not stare directly into his eyes, and without breaking contact, ask once more, what started it all? When you say this again, the fire will jump from the fireplace and surround the man. He will begin to speak in a voice as loud as the roaring sea, yet as soft as a gentle breeze. He will explain the beginning of life, the objects, and all of the universe. When he is finished, the fire will recede, and the man will be gone. In his place will be a marble on the floor. The marble is as red as fire, as blue as the sea, as clear as the wind, and as black as the earth. Don't try to figure this out. Comprehending this marble will twist your mind into madness. Pick up the marble and leave through the door you came through. You will be back in the main lobby of the institution. The marble is object 64 of 538. You control the elements now! Hooray! Holder number 65, the holder of agony. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls themselves the holder of agony. The eyes of the person behind the desk will widen in surprise, as if they didn't understand why they recognized that name. They will sputter for a moment, but their facial expression will soon change to a drawn, furrowed, pensive scowl. They will shudder, turn away, and refuse. You must ask again, and continue asking in a calm, soft voice, even if they weep or scream. Eventually, the life will leave their eyes, and they will lead you, in a shuffling gait, to a room with no apparent number, just down the hall. The worker will open the door for you. As you walk past and enter the dark room, they will land a sharp kick on the small of your back, hurtling you into the room. Whatever you do, do not stop or turn around while passing the worker. Just trust me on this one, please. The room will smell simultaneously of alcohol, sanitary wipes, and the metallic tang of blood. You will not be able to see much until the same door you've entered through opens, and the gray light from without illuminates a lanky, cloaked figure entering the room. When the door shuts, it'll be darker than before. Immediately, you will feel the cloaked figure press itself against your body. Its bony limbs will jab your ribs and stomach as it says, "I know you." Its voice will reverberate through your entire body, and you will feel every type of discomfort, like you're being watched, being molested, like your foot fell asleep, you're dizzy, nauseous, impatient. You get the idea. Stand perfectly still.